Look at this. Millions of people across the country marching as we speak against the policies of President Trump. This is Boston. Look at that.
Today, organizers say at least 7 million Americans took to the streets protesting what many called an abuse of power by President Trump. House Speaker Mike Johnson called it, quote, the Hate America rally. Here in New York City, police say 100,000 people turned out at multiple marches. They report no arrests. There were more than 2,600 events from coast to coast. They are all part of the No Kings movement, which accuses the president of behaving more like a monarch than an elected official. CBS's Elise Preston in Los Angeles leads us off tonight. Elise.
Jerika, thousands have turned up here in downtown Los Angeles to express their fear and frustration with the administration. Their message, no monarchs in America.
I want to be able to tell my future children that I was here, that I stood on the right side of history.
The nationwide rallies are in response to what organizers call an abuse of power by President Trump, including his administration's crackdown on immigration and its threat to send the National Guard into cities, including Chicago and Portland.
The message is no kings. The message is the Constitution of the United States is a wonderful document that matters.
Republicans said the protests were nothing more than Hate America rallies.
I'm Torian Small in Washington, D.C. Before leaving the Hill this week, House Speaker Mike Johnson framed this rally as a Hate America event. Attendees disagreed.
We love America. We hate what they're trying to do to America.
Today's rally is taking place in big cities and small towns in every state.
I'm Allie Bauman in Morristown, New Jersey. Thousands attended today's rally 16 miles away from the president's New Jersey golf course. This county has deep roots in the nation's founding, known as the military capital of the American Revolution.
Our forefathers fought off kings and said no kings for the first time. So it is full circle.
Judy Kelly is one of the local organizers.
To defend democracy on this land, it does mean a lot to all of us who are working on it.
In Frisco, Texas, the protest was small but vocal.
I believe in democracy. I fought for democracy and sacrificed. And the things that are being done right now in this government are totally ridiculous.
In Europe, protesters were also small in numbers, but passionate outside the U.S. Embassy in London, in Paris and Berlin.
Being here in Germany, especially considering the history that's here, we have a unique perspective to look and say, that's not okay.
Ahead of today's protest, the governors of Virginia and Texas brought in the National Guard to handle any potential unrest in their state. Jerika, those protests have been largely peaceful. Same scene here in Los Angeles.
Donald Trump's weekend has been ruined as the No Kings protest is far bigger and far more massive than anybody expected. Millions of Americans took to the streets across the country in each state to show their love of country, to show their patriotism, and to stand up to Donald Trump's power grabs. Not just here in America, but we saw this around the globe. People came out to tell Donald Trump where he can shove it. And Donald Trump and Republicans, they wanted violence. They wanted chaos. They wanted anti-American sentiment. But instead, all they got were peaceful patriots that loved their country and wanted to exercise their First Amendment rights. But here's the best part. It doesn't end here. We'll do this again. You can count on that. But we're going to harness this energy. We're going to take what we felt here today and use it next November and take back the House and take back the Senate, because that's how we hold Donald Trump accountable. That's how we really show him there are no kings in America. There's rules you got to abide by, but you can know Donald Trump is seeing this and he's fuming.
So I am here in Houston, Texas. Behind me, we're seeing the start of the day's No Kings Day programming. We have a couple thousand people. You may not be able to fully see them, but they're going to be walking up the street, up Walker Street to City Hall, where they expect upwards of 15,000 people to again gather in today's No Kings Day protest. Now, several people I've spoken to say this demonstration, a direct response to what they feel is an infringement on their constitutional rights by the Trump administration. Some people pointed to things like Jimmy Kimmel's show getting pulled, other people pointing to the administration's attacks on DEI, and others referencing what we've seen from ICE and Immigration and Customs Enforcement personnel as they ramp up deportations.
Jimmy Kimmel is allowed to say whatever he wants, and it was a very soft hit, frankly, and then suddenly he's ripped from the air. If you're telling the press what they can do at both the White House and at the Pentagon, that is an assault on free speech. They're talking about sending mini National Guardsmen to watch us as we peaceably assemble. They're after freedom of assembly. And there's just too many things to sit by and discuss it.
We are just getting started here in Houston, and this crowd is active and, as you can see, energetic.
What is the story of Chicago?
Go to hell.
Is that the message from Chicago?
Yes. What's interesting is that he doesn't understand that all the labor rights around the world came from this town, this place. So if he thinks this place is going to be a fascist hub, no chance.
Hi guys, this is Tiana and you're welcome back to the channel. So they said it will flop, they said no one will show up, but yesterday America proved them wrong. No King's Day didn't just happen, it rolled across every major city and minor cities. Millions came out and now MAGAs are crying, trying to figure out how it all went this far. Let's talk about what really went down and why this protest just made history. Well, let's see how it went so far. But before we do, please do well to like, share, and of course, subscribe to keep the channel moving.
Remember how for the last 2 weeks, Republicans and Trump have been claiming that the No Kings protest will be filled with Hamas, Antifa, and violent protesters? Well, the NYPD just announced that there were 100,000 people on hand and there were 0 protest-related arrests. Can you remind me again who the violent ones are?
Again, I'm at the Fort Lauderdale No King's Day protest. I'm running into followers from TikTok. Again, just show you some of the crowd. Right now it runs about half a mile north to south here on Sunrise Boulevard and A1A. And this just started in the last few minutes. This one lasts 5 hours, so expect more people to be turning out. Register your voice, use your voice to show that your displeasure of Trump. Use your vote to show that we support democracy. We don't support kings. We don't support autocrats. We don't support fascism.
Thank you. Great sign. Let's make America kind again for fuck's sake.
For my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cuckoos, my burned out light bulbs, what do you think?
The crowd is for sure building here at Father Duffy Square and what is the second No King's Day demonstration we are seeing across the country this year. You can take a look at those signs. Demonstrators are here with their flags, some even with their children. And the first No King's Day demonstration in June was triggered by President Donald Trump's military parade. This time around, it's sparked by the prolonged government shutdown, along with the deployment of federal authorities towards immigration enforcement and at other demonstrations across the country. Some of these signs here we're seeing seeing say America was built by immigrants. We don't bow to billionaires. Just a lot of frustration from demonstrators here and across the country, calling the Trump administration authoritarian. This is one of thousands of demonstrations being held across the country today.
I am worried sick about my Social Security. Worried sick. That's my money I put in there. I trusted our government to do, and now they're talking about taking my money away from me? Oh, hell no.
I'm here at the No Kings rally in South Carolina. Normally, I would go to like Charlotte or Atlanta for a giant rally like this, but I decided to come to small town America. This is a side of America that really no one ever talks about, no one really ever cares about. A lot of people don't even know these places like this exist, but there are well over 3,000 to 4,000 people out here now that are protesting. They're not happy. And I'm going to talk to them today, and I'm going to let you hear what they have to say and why they're out here, their message to the president. So let's dig into it.
I'm out here because I'm pretty tired of the current so-called regime, and I want to see it over. I want to see it replaced with something that really defines American values.
How do you feel about him using the military to go into cities?
I think it's a really, really horrible use of taxpayer money. I think a lot of American people work really hard, and for that to be used for something against our own citizens, as though we don't have laws and amendments that protect us against these specific things. The Third Amendment has never been so relevant in places like Chicago.
If the president was here right now, and you had one message to give him, what would it be?
No comment.
I don't like what's going on with the way the country is going and the Trump administration. Everything's more expensive since Trump came into office. Groceries are more expensive. I'm paying a dime more for gas than I was the day Joe Biden left, which he claimed he was going to drop gas. He hasn't.
He said day one.
Day one. He hasn't.
The way they're handling immigration, I don't like the cruelty. I'm ready to just get back to normal. And some people in my family are carrying their birth certificates with them.
Really?
Because they're very fearful. They live in Texas.
I'm marching because I have granddaughters and I worry about their future and the way our country's going and their lack of freedoms that we have.
Well, I just care about the country, and I'm thrilled that everybody's demonstrating today, and I want to be part of it. Our daughter has been cut from some Medicaid stuff. She needed some really serious surgery, and she's already been denied that. My husband is a veteran, and he's concerned because they've laid off a lot of people at the VA where he goes, and so we're concerned about everybody. We're concerned about the things that they're doing in the cities, the militarization of the cities, and it's just very scary.
Violence in the streets at over 2,600 protests today. That's what Republicans thought they would see. That's what Republicans were dreaming they would see. That's what Donald Trump and his administration was hoping they would see. What they saw instead was millions of Americans peacefully utilizing their First Amendment right to protest the current Republican regime that is slipping closer to authoritarian rule every single day. So no matter what kind of potential civil war, threats of violence that they thought they were going to get out of the radicalized left, as they call these people, they got none of that. Once again, they were disappointed because once again, Democrats showed, and anybody that showed, not just Democrats, there were independents, Republicans, all sorts of life at the protests that we attended. And guess what? Everybody there was there because they love the country and they hate the direction it's going. They were utilizing their First Amendment rights. Left, right, center, it doesn't matter. Today was a day for America, and for America to be taken back and taken away from this regime that is trying so badly to turn us into something that we've never been, not in 250 years. And today, millions of Americans let their voices be heard on the street, and millions more joined them from home.
I want to show you the unbelievable turnout of the No Kings protests in major cities across the U.S. This is Boston, Massachusetts. This is Washington, D.C., where over 200,000 people have turned out. This is New York City, where they expect probably 200,000 people as well. And this is Chicago, Illinois. This entire protest is likely the largest ever in modern American history. Good job, guys. Did you attend?
So folks, today was No King's Day, a truly remarkable display of democracy and patriotism all around the country as we got out there and protested against Donald Trump and his regime. But look, I gotta be honest, there are two main things I love about No King's Day. Of course, number one are the amazing protests we saw across the country. But number two is the MAGA meltdown that follows every single time. They simply cannot control themselves anytime the MAGA losers see millions of Americans getting out there and using their voices against their cult leader. They have a meltdown on social media. They let all of their emotions fly out of them. They have their temper tantrums. They have their freakouts. That's exactly what happened today. So I want to show you some of the MAGA meltdown. Then later, I want to show you some facts about the protests that'll truly blow your mind. I wanted to start with the MAGA influencers who were freaking out about the protests, but just before I started to film this video, I got word of something that Donald Trump, the president of the United States, posted on social media. He took time out of his day to attack me. Yours truly. This is a photo that I took at the No Kings protest in Manhattan earlier today, and Donald Trump decided to include it in a video he posted on Truth Social. You can see that this is coming from his official Truth Social page, and I'll show you just a brief
Breaking news, the No King's Day protests that are being held right now, as I'm filming this video in close to 3,000 American cities, is already one of the largest protests in American history, and according to a handful of analysts, could end up being the largest in American history. For instance, as I'm filming this video, event organizers have already confirmed that there is over 200,000 people in attendance at the protest in Washington, D.C. This makes it the largest protest in D.C. under the Trump era, and one of the largest, top 5 in the history of our capital's existence. Just to give you some perspective, No King's Day 1.0 is widely considered to be the third largest protest in this country's history. And during No King's Day 1.0, there was 100,000 people in attendance in D.C., and that was the final tally once the protest was over. Today, the event's not over, and organizers have already confirmed, as I already pointed out, that there are over 200,000 people in attendance. If you're able to and you haven't yet, make sure to get involved with your local protests, which you could find by visiting nokings.org.
Several hours later, and you can't even hear yourself think in this town that I'm in because everybody is out here protesting No King's Day. So please don't let the media fool you. We are out. We have tens of thousands of people out here right now, all morning long. This will go on all day long. And we are proud to be American today.
She's here to flag the troubles to love everybody.
So guys, after all the fear, the threat and the mockery, the people still came out. No King's Day wasn't a failure. It wasn't at all. It was a message. The people are done being silent. MAGAs can cry all they want, but the movement has already begun. If you felt that power, please hit that like and subscribe button. Share this video and drop your thoughts in the comment for freedom and unity. Until next time, stay aware, stay kind, and remember, no one can silence the people.